receive a higher return on investment for their search marketing efforts. And to give a little bit of a background about NetElixir University, NetElixir University was launched in 2012. The idea overall was to share best practices in digital marketing for retailers with over 10,000 businesses worldwide by 2015. We are well on our way to achieving that goal, and we are very happy to say that we have definitely helped a lot of small businesses turn around their search marketing efforts through our educational sessions. You're more than welcome to join NetElixir University. You can find that group on LinkedIn at the address that's on the screen here. And we encourage everybody to join, and that will keep you in the loop for any upcoming webinars or any other presentations that we have coming up after SEO Week. So to kick off into today's session of SEO Week, today's topic is, of course, semantic search with the underlying tone of getting our websites ready for conversational search. So a very interesting topic in the SEO world today. Very happy to be sharing our insights on this and some of the best practices so that you can make sure that your website is up to par with the changes that Google is making. Of course, what you can do now is you can send us an email at workshop@netelixir.com using the subject line SEO workshop, and what we will send over to you is your own semantic search scorecard. So what you can do with that is you can print it out or just have a digital copy in front of you, and it's going to allow you to go through some of the items that we are talking about today, and that's going to help you make sure that your website is ready for the changes that Google is making from a semantic search perspective. Again, you can get your copy by emailing us at workshop@netelixir.com using the subject line SEO workshop, and that's going to allow you to get your own copy of the semantic search scorecard, and you can use that as a checklist to make sure that your website is going to be performing as well as it can for semantic search from the search engine perspective. And then, of course, what we're also offering today is if you would like your website to be analyzed live on the webinar, feel free to enter your URL into the question field, and we could pick your website to be analyzed live today. So we need a brave volunteer to come. Okay, I'm starting to see a couple come across, so thank you very much. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Got a few coming across here. So we're going to pick one at random, and when it comes time for the live audit, we are going to go ahead and go through all of the points that we're covering today, and it'll definitely be relatable. We'll show you how to use the tools so that you can perform an analysis on your end. All right, so before we get started, we just wanted to reiterate the rules of SEO Week for anybody that's joining us for the first time today. If you're joining us again, welcome back. So the rules of SEO Week: please ask us lots of questions. Your goal is to try to stump me. That's the way that we are all going to learn together, is if you can send over those very hard questions, they are going to be what help us all learn throughout this process. Any unanswered questions, you will be individually emailed, and we will also be publishing a blog that's going to be covering all of the individual questions that will be asked. And of course, we welcome you to take screenshots. Any of the actions that are mentioned throughout the course of this webinar, they're going to help your business's website's performance. So these will help your business overall online. So feel free to use any of the information that we're presenting today. And of course, tweet at us. Use the hashtag SEO Week. What we are going to be announcing today is that we are going to be having a small contest. So we will be taking anybody that uses the hashtag SEO Week and we will be compiling all of those tweets, and we will be picking one winner at random. So feel free to tweet at us using the hashtag SEOWeek, and then we will be announcing the winner of that prize towards the end of SEO Week. And of course, the #1 rule above all, right alongside of learning and improving your website's performance, is of course have fun. So have fun, tweet at us using hashtag SEOWeek, and let's get this started. So kicking off with the definition of what is semantic search. Semantic search is essentially the understanding that search is really no longer about just returning queries, but it's about answering questions. So fundamentally, the concept of search is a little bit different from a keyword perspective. We're going to go into the specifics of how much it has changed, but really it's a little bit of a different mindset that we have to get in when we are looking at it from a perspective of answering questions rather than just appearing for a keyword. So when we look at how Google was in the past, when Google initially launched, its purpose was, just like every other search engine, to return results. If you searched for something, you got a result from Google. So for instance, at this time, if I needed somewhere to buy flowers, I would search for flower shop, and then Google would give me some form of result. That's exactly how it was intended to work. Just a little fun fact, if you would like, if you have a spare moment, what you can do is go to Google and Google the phrase Google in 1998, and you will be reverted to what Google looked like in 1998. It's a fun little thing, little trip down memory lane. So Google Now. Google Now is much, much different from what we just saw a few moments ago. Google is consistently and always testing out new layouts and functionalities. What we have highlighted on the screen right now is another one of Google's changes that they've made. If you search for something that is informational, they will give you this information over on the right, and that area is called the knowledge graph. And the knowledge graph was a great insight into the future of how Google is taking information and compiling it into one place. So it's really, really where we can start to see that Google is looking at more than just information on a website for the purposes of returning a search query. They are looking at the information on a website so that they can return an answer to their end user. So obviously for this instance, what we searched for was Albert Einstein, and we have a lot of information right on Google about Albert Einstein and some other related searches. The other thing to note is that Google is going to consistently be changing how they are displaying results. So what we just pulled up on the screen here is what was referred to as the Google Carousel. Google has since done away with the Google Carousel, but it was a new way that we could look at search. And my personal opinion is that soon down the road we will start to see something similar to this that is more interactive for the end user, so that there is just a different type of take on search in general. And why is this important? By observing what Google has done all along the way since 1996, 1997, 1998, by observing this course of action, we want to ask ourselves, is it possible that we can start to predict how they are going to look at things next? And that's exactly why we highlighted in the previous screen the different types of search results that they were returning. By looking at this information, we can start to put together a concept of, okay, if we know that Google is going to be trying to deliver this type of result, does that mean that we can get ahead of that and start to appear in those places, and we start to really think a much bigger picture beyond just making sure that we're returning results for a specific search query. So to begin this process, what we have to ask ourselves is, can Google easily crawl the information that we are presenting on our website? So if the theory is that if Google can easily read everything that is presented on our website, they can then turn it into what the specific search results pages look like. The next thing is that, is my information presented in a way that Google can easily understand? Very similar to the crawl, they can get through all of the pages of your website easily and compile all of that information easily. If we have it if we have that data presented in a way that Google can easily read and understand, we're more likely to show up in those individual areas. And then, of course, one of the last questions that we can ask is our website ready to answer questions or just show up for queries? So when did semantic search become an important concept? In my opinion, semantic search really started to become a forthright approach that needed to be done by SEO professionals with the release of Hummingbird. So we're obviously going to be covering the algorithm updates in great detail on Friday. But to give a little bit of a preliminary on Google Hummingbird, Google Hummingbird was actually an algorithm update that was not just a fix to the existing algorithm, it was actually a full swap of the algorithm. And the reason that they did that full swap, that full reprogramming of the algorithm, was because they saw how much search has been changing over the years. And it is moving more towards answering questions instead of just returning queries. So Google's understanding obviously led to the Hummingbird update. We are seeing a massive growth in people asking questions on search engines rather than just punching in those queries. And also another thing to consider is, and one thing that we can psychologically think about, is that if we consider the surge in mobile searches, that definitely plays a major role in it. If we think about how we interact with search engines on a desktop computer versus how we interact with search engines on a mobile device, we can really see how that performance change needed to happen. So if we can see that human behavior in relation to search engines is changing, what does that mean for us? It means that we have to make our website ready for these types of changes. And what you can do about it? Well, unfortunately for Charlie Brown, there is no secret sauce or magic trick that we can kind of implement and poof, your website is semantic search ready, unfortunately. But there are some steps that we can take to make sure that we are getting closer to making sure that our website is ready to answer those questions. Semantic search is about asking yourself the right questions and being ready to deliver results in a way that Google can easily understand. So the first question that we have to ask ourselves, who is my end user? Are they sitting on a mobile device or are they on a computer primarily? What is their tone? Are they casual? Are they corporate? What is their level of education? Could a multi-language approach help my audience? And the reason that we want to ask ourselves these questions is because we want to make sure that the content that exists on our website is ready for this changing user. People are obviously getting smarter. They are interacting with search engines intelligently. So when somebody gets onto your website, we have to make sure that the content that's being presented to that end user is presented in a way that that end user is going to positively react to. So if you were selling children's toys but you wrote your content like you were an Ivy League professor, there may not be the best mesh-up of between who is viewing the content and who is producing the content. So it's something that we definitely have to keep in mind as we are writing our content. The next thing is social engagement. Now, in the SEO space, there are a lot of SEO professionals that will go out and say, well, there's only so much proven value for social media from an SEO perspective. And that might be true if you're only looking at it from the perspective of links and traffic driving. Where we see value in social media is the full holistic view of the internet marketing space, where we see that people are interacting on social media more than ever before, and this is opportunity to have content generated about your products and services in many different areas, in many different ways, and then by having that association between your social media profile and your brand's website, that is going to help you overall present a bigger picture to the search engines. And the other thing is that we want to make sure that we are looking at social media from an engagement perspective rather than one-directional content publishing. So you want to make sure that you are interacting with the people that are present on your social media. Next, on top of making sure that your content is ready for your end user and appropriate for your end user, you want to make sure that the content itself is good. So we're obviously going to be having Content Day tomorrow, but to give a little teaser of that, content essentially used to be tackled as an SEO strategy as you just have so many, your keyword mentioned so many times within your content. That's not necessarily the way that we want to go about it anymore. Google is starting to read your websites more intelligently, as well as other search engines as well, and it's no longer just looking for mentions of keywords. It wants to see that synonyms exist. They want to see explanations and data, and they want to see other cues within your content that are telling Google and other search engines what your brand is all about, what your product is all about. So the 3 words to keep in mind, just from a little bit of a different perspective, especially if you joined us yesterday, content is king. It's no longer just about getting those keywords in your content so many times. It is now about making sure that the content that exists on your website is appropriate for your end user and written very well. Question 4, my favorite personal question. Structured data. I am a code geek for many years, and I absolutely love the use of structured data. To give a quick definition of what structured data is is content and information that is written in a language that the robots of the search engines can understand. So it's kind of by robots for robots. We hinted yesterday that there's endless ways that you can code a website and get information in front of search engines. What structured data allows you to do is give the search engine and other areas as well, but primarily we're talking about search engines. It gives them guidance as to what this content is specifically about. So you can mark up some of the basic things within your website, like the items in your navigation. If anybody on the line writes code, you know that there are endless ways that you can make navigation work within your website. But by using structured data, you can tell the search engine, here's the navigation of my website. You can do the same thing with images, reviews. If you're a local business, you can mark up your address, and that's going to help you tie this specific information to the search engine so that they can put a more fuller picture together. And question 5, really what might be the most important question to ask yourself, not just in semantic search, but in SEO in general. Is anything being done on your website solely for SEO purposes? So are you just writing that content that includes that keyword so many times for SEO purposes, rather than just having a better end user experience so that the end user can relate to your website. It may be worth rethinking a little bit and making sure that you are delivering a great end user experience rather than just making sure that you're optimizing for a specific keyword. And we have to keep in mind, I've probably said it a half dozen times already, Google is drifting away from that concept of keyword-centered search. It's now moving more towards that semantic question-answering type of search. So what we wanted to introduce, I believe I got the thumbs up from Jenny that all of these Semantic Search scorecards are out. These are going to help you make sure that you have all of the elements within your website that could possibly help get your website ready from a semantic search perspective. So if you would like, you could absolutely get your own copy by emailing us if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm just going to get ready to get the semantic search analysis underway. All right, so bear with me here for one second while we get this up and running. Just have to jump over to a browser and start getting a few things in. Thank you for everybody that put your information in to have your website analyzed. The website that we picked at random was shopharveys.com. So I'm just actually populating a few things in here. We're going to be going through all of these pieces in just 1 second. Okay, and I just want to make sure that the sound is coming through okay. Getting a couple notes here that it sounds like we might be breaking up a little bit. So I just want to make sure that we are clear for everybody. All right, so we're going to pick up here. So the website that we chose to analyze out of the results that came back for us was shopharveys.com. Thank you once again, everybody, for submitting. I'm getting some thumbs up here that it looks like our sound is back. Okay, so where we want to begin with shopharveys.com, the first thing that we're going to be taking a look at, we're going to want to navigate over to our blog. We're going to want to make sure that a blog exists. And the reason that we want to make sure that a blog exists is to make sure that we are presenting all of the, we're presenting a wide variety of topics to search engines and the end user as well. Now, where I see an area for opportunity to improve with Shop Harveys is that it looks like the blog actually opens up to a Tumblr page, where we want to make sure that what we would like to see happen is that the shopharveys.com gets credit for the blog content that is being published. So by it being live on Tumblr, this is actually giving credit to the Tumblr website rather than shopharveys.com. The next thing that we want to test, now obviously it is much easier to do this test by looking at your website on your phone rather than using a tester like this. But it looks like the Harvey's website does have a mobile presence, so they are ready to make sure that they are in front of their end user no matter what device they are live at. The next piece here, oops, the joys of live television. Okay, so what we're going to use now is the NetElixir Marketplace web page analysis tool. So it took it, just didn't present it. Okay, so we're going to use the web page analysis tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here. There's a lot of great information on here, but down here what we can see is the page most relevant keywords and phrases. And we can start to see some of the things that they are talking about within their home page. So when we see that, single keyword, crossbody, streamline, buttercup, shop, dove, two-word phrases, and continue on and on and on and on, this is really an area where we could see some opportunity where, we know that they are not necessarily trying to optimize for phrases around crossbody or streamline necessarily. It might be part of their product line, but it's not necessarily the full product that they're selling. So I would like to see some more information in here that is related to, the natural products and all of these different types of products that they offer on shopharveys.com. I would like to see some of those things start to come across rather than these adjectives and other types of terms like that. And I likely typed that in wrong. So this tool is this is the new Google structured data testing tool. So something is breaking with it in here. But basically when this tool works, it actually will allow us to check and see what kind of structured data currently exists within our websites. So the other way that you can check that is in the browser Chrome, you can hit Inspect Element, and it will actually go ahead and bring up any structured data that may exist, so you can just individually inspect your code as well. Another way of testing for structured data is to go to Google and search and see what kind of information comes up here. So if there was review information, what we would see is some stars listed in here. We could also potentially see, a different style of breadcrumbs breaking out here rather than just this breakout here. So those are some of the things that you can look at, and what we would be happy to share with everybody is, of course, how we get to all of these places as well. So, I hope you had a chance to write down all these tools, but in case you didn't, the main thing is the NetElixir Marketplace tool, the web page analysis tool, and then also when it gets back up and running, the Google Developers tool for the structured data test. So they call it the rich snippet testing tool. All right, so using this scorecard, what you can do is print it out at your office or at your desk, and what you can do is you can just go through all of these individual items. We're going to go through these again here real quick just to sum it up. But what you can start with is your website mobile ready? We hinted at this yesterday as well, but starting on April 21st of 2015, you're going to want to make sure that your website is mobile ready. So just make sure you are thinking of your end user. It's very likely that you do have a high percentage of your end users that are using mobile devices or tablets. So you do want to make sure that your information is being presented for them for these devices. The next thing that you're going to want to keep an eye on this scorecard is your social engagement. We talked about it earlier. Engagement is the key. It is not just about posting on your Facebook and tweeting. It is about genuinely trying to engage your end user. So that's one thing on the scorecard that you're going to want to make sure that you are doing. Make sure that you are engaging with your end user and not just posting and getting information out there. So think of it as a two-way street rather than a push type of effort. And of course, talk about different things in your social media as well. Not just the topics that you're trying to target, but we also want to talk about different things within your industry. So, of course, be a voice within your industry and get that engagement going that way. Step 3, use your blog and make sure that your blog is active on your physical website URL. So it's encouraged for it to not be out on Tumblr or one of the other Web 2.0 assets. On Friday is actually Social Media Day, and we will be talking about how to use other websites like that strategically to grow your brand. But we want to make sure that you are being a thought leader within your industry and that those topics that you are discussing are present on your physical website so that you constantly get that credit. The other thing to keep in mind is that as we are posting, to also be talking about not just like we are talking about with social media, don't just talk about individual keywords that we want to target. We want to make sure that we are presenting a nice full scope of content and similar topics. Step 4, this is what the tool looks like when it works. The Rich Snippet Testing Tool by Google. This is going to outline for you different areas that you have implemented, and it's going to tell you if you do have information presented in that language for Google to understand. If you do not have anything present, totally fine, very easy to implement, and will actually do a lot of benefit for you in the long run. The services that you can use to get your website marked up with structured data are actually, the one service that I like a lot is schema.org, schema.org. And then also Google offers a markup tool to help you mark up anything within your website, and then you just essentially apply what you want what you want attributed with, and that's going to also help you with getting that structured data in there. Now, the one thing to note about the Google tool for structured data markup is that it is designed for Google. So it is a language that is proprietary to Google. So by using something like schema.org, it is more universal versus the language that is produced by Google for Google's purposes. Okay. And step number 5 is, of course, to check your website's content relevance. Once again, using the web page analysis tool over at lxrmarketplace.com, that's going to allow you to analyze your website in more areas than just your content. But for the purposes of this, we want to make sure that we are talking about topics that are beyond just what is physically present on our website. So now what we're going to be doing is we're actually running a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're actually going to go ahead and get ready to get started on questions. So please keep those questions coming over. We're going to open it up now for everybody. There they are. Oops. Okay, so we're going to open up the questions here. Once again, we have Jenny joining us.
All right, Sean, here's the first question. What role does on-page optimization play in semantic SEO?
So, thank you. I'm guessing that is somebody that had joined us yesterday. So what we can use on-page optimization for, now it's obviously tough because we only have so many characters that we can fit this information in, but it's also going to help us get the overall sense of what we're talking about. So it's best practice to use synonyms and other topics throughout the on-page of your website, and that's going to help you present that more fuller information to search engines, again, rather than just presenting specific search queries.
Alrighty, here's another one. For someone who isn't prepared to build their own website from scratch, what do you recommend? What are some different platforms that you recommend that are the best to use?
Okay, website platforms are a little bit, it's a little bit hard to say because the platforms themselves could be beneficial overall from a content management perspective. However, what really matters is that overall theme or template that gets applied to that. So for instance, if you were an e-commerce website and you had and you wanted to make sure that you are what am I trying to say here? So if you're a Magento user and you have an e-commerce website, the one thing that you want to make sure of is that you are you have a theme in place that is going to allow Google to get through, and so that's really the main thing, is that Google can get through the theme of it. So when it comes to the shopping cart, that part is going to remain pretty much the same across the board. It's really just about making sure that the front end is readable by Google.
Alrighty, here's another one. If you use a WordPress blog and purchase the URL, will that be attributed to your site, unlike the Tumblr example that you mentioned earlier?
Okay, so yes. So if you have your blog and it lives at example.com/blog or blog.example.com, your website gets all the credit for it. However, if you have example.com and exampleblog.com, that will not get you the same credit. So you do want to make sure that you have that living within your own URL.
Alrighty. Are there any other semantic search resources that you recommend to someone who wants to learn more?
Oh, absolutely. So Semantic Search is actually something that I blog about quite frequently on the NetElixir website. So that there's a wide variety of topics there. I'd be more than happy to share some of those with everybody here. It's definitely a wide topic to talk about. But really what we wanted to cover today was the basics, making sure that everybody is ready to launch from a semantic search perspective, and just making sure that we are getting up and running to make sure that we are returning answers, not just queries.
Okay. Sean, which blog platform do you recommend?
Me personally, I enjoy WordPress. I do think they've gotten a lot right in the blogging world. However, Blogger and some of the other ones, they are fine as well. But me personally, I think WordPress is very, very SEO friendly, and they're definitely a pretty solid platform to I'm also seeing a note, similar question. Somebody asked what we think of Blogspot. It's the same exact type of concept. The main thing to make sure of with all of these Blogger, Blogspot, WordPress, if you're going to use them, you do want to make sure, I do want to reiterate that you do have to make sure that your website includes a hosted version of your blog. So it can't just be, myblog.blogspot.com, myblog.wordpress.com. It's got to be full install within your website. Okay, and that actually brings us just about to the end of the questions. Again, I know that we are ahead of the schedule a little bit. So any other questions that come across, we're going to leave this up and running here for a few seconds as we finish out here. Of course, any and all questions that are left unanswered, we will definitely get back to you, and we will definitely get you the answers that you need. If you do have any other questions that have come up, feel free to give us an email at workshop@NetElixir.com, and that's going to, and we will definitely get to those questions. So, of course, here is the remainder of the curriculum for the. Here is the remainder of the curriculum. I'm actually getting a note to show the previous slide. I hope this is the one. Leave that up for another second. Okay. So this is the curriculum for the remainder of SEO Week. Tomorrow is, of course, Content Day. We highly recommend that, especially in talking about semantic search, Content Day is going to be a nice pairing with that, with this topic. So, content is of course a majorly important part of SEO today. So we highly encourage everybody to come out to Content Day. And then on Thursday is the Social Media Optimization Day. We're going to be talking about various topics in social media, how to get your audience engaged, and then how to compile data to make sure that you are engaging them appropriately, and then also how to measure that information as well, because that is important. And then on Friday the 13th, seemed appropriate to be talking about algorithm updates. So we're going to be talking about all of the different various algorithm updates that Google has come out with over the past few years. And, that one's going to be very fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one. It's going to be very interactive. So definitely, if you haven't already, please sign up, and we will definitely get you the information. Okay. So once again, thank you everybody for attending. Here is that information about NetElixir University once again. We hope you can make it over to LinkedIn and join us for some of our future webinars, as well as the remainder of SEO Week. Join us. You'll be in the loop with everything that we present in the future, and just looking forward to sharing this information with everybody as we continue to move along. So once again, thank you, everybody, and just a reminder, this Saturday is, of course, Epic Pi Day. It's a once-in-a-century type of occurrence, so we hope everybody celebrates accordingly. So once again, thank you again for joining us. We hope to have you for the remainder of SEO Week as well, and we hope you've found this information to be useful, and any unanswered questions we will be publishing a blog about. So you are welcome to everybody saying thank you, and we will be talking to you guys again tomorrow. So thank you very much.